Hi there! Welcome to Becoming the Self-Led Woman podcast. My name is Monica, and this is a weekly podcast for modern women in which we will explore different topics such as self-leadership, personal growth, financial empowerment, feminine wisdom, all sorts of things that help us understand how can we navigate nowadays as a modern woman. You can think of it as a coffee chat that you can have with an older sister. So here I am as your older sister that I am sharing honest, supportive, practical insights that can help you create the life that feels more aligned, more empowered, and really more heart-led and authentic. Today, let's talk about something that many of us experience in our daily lives, that while it seems that it's really not much of a big deal, it can actually drain our energy in our daily lives and leave us even exhausted. I am actually talking about the mental load that we silently carry within ourselves. What I mean is that we often have so many things going on inside of our heads, not only about the daily tasks, our daily checklists, responsibilities, but actually the worries, what needs to be addressed, fixed, what needs to be done at our houses, relationships, not only, for example, about our husbands, boyfriends, but even our loved ones, friends, families, and resolved things. And if you have children, also the 101 things that they might need, things that needs to be addressed, all the worries around them. So basically, we have inside our minds 101 tabs opened like a browser. And yet it runs so much in the back of our minds that we don't really notice. And then at the end of the day, we wonder, why is it that I feel so exhausted? So today, let's address this and let's talk about how to have less mental load so that you can feel gradually more energy and feeling less drained by all of this. Because I can tell you that since I implemented changes from big to small, really, in my daily life and in how I manage things, I feel that I simply have more energy in my daily life and less stress. And I can tell you that for women, having less stress is a form of self care that helps us age slower, really, because stress really ages us faster. So, my own philosophy is actually very simple. Whatever I can let go of, I let go. And whatever I can delegate, outsource, I do it. So, what do I mean? Like our daily lives, we accumulate so much of a big list of the things that we feel that we need to do and take care of. But how much in that list is actually really in need of our interference? One very common example amongst women is that we often tend to carry worries and burdens that are often not really ours. For example, loved ones or friends, they might confide in us and vent about certain things that they are worried about. And we often tend to take these worries and keep them in our minds as well. So we worry for them. But doing so is not really helping the situation because at the end of the day, they are the ones that have to take care of their situations, their things. And we also have to let them and not try so hard to jump in and even fix things for them. Because by doing so, we are actually signaling that we cannot really trust their capacity to take care of their own things. And we are really robbing them the opportunity to learn how to deal with things by themselves. And then we also need to understand that often when people vent to us about certain things, when they share about certain things, often they might do so just for needing to talk about it and feeling that the other person is listening, but actually not looking for unsolicited advice, for example. And yet, we often jump in so fast to try to dissect the situation, try to understand things better so then we help them solve the situation. So when I stopped doing this by actually acknowledging that the other person is fully capable of solving their things and they might just want to have a friendly ear to listen to them. Because if they want to ask me for advice or help, they can directly ask it. So when I learned that, I actually dropped a lot of the burdens, really, like worrying for others without actually needing to do so and it actually not really helping the situation. So if you really resonate with this, then trying to learn to actually acknowledge the other person's capacity to take care of their own things and giving them the space to do so. And of course, you can still offer your support when they ask for it specifically. Then you are already dropping a lot of mental load. You're releasing it. Another thing that can be really helpful is to really look at the relationships that you have around you. For example, with friends and loved ones, and acquaintances, co-workers, like which relationships nourishes you and which relationships are actually just draining you. Because there are friends, for example, with whom when you talk with them, at the end of the day, you feel energized, you feel good. But then there are friends that with whom you talk with them, but at the end of the day, you feel this negativity, this heaviness, and that is actually not healthy. For example, if you have a friend that often gossips or talk about negative things, and you don't really resonate with what they are talking, but you don't really want to not be a good friend. You want to be there for your friend. It's actually important to have boundaries to protect your own energy because at the end of the day, if you are absorbing this negativity, now your friend is just spreading this negativity and she might not even realize it. And yet, you also carrying this negativity is not really helping anyone. So, while you don't need to let the entire relationship go, you can still tell her, like, hey, maybe we can talk about other things because this kind of conversations are actually not very comfortable or exciting for me. And you can also, for example, start to introduce interesting conversations that are more positive that she might also like. You can change this dynamic. But learning to have proper boundaries to protect your own energy and to let go of relationship dynamics that are actually draining you can also make such a difference. And different relationships and the different burdens from your loved ones, friends, when you learn to actually let this go and have the proper boundaries for your energy, you will gradually notice that you feel much better and have more energy during the day to take care of your own things. Now, when it comes to daily life, we often keep a list of the things we need to address in our minds. But because we are doing so, it can actually be so draining because we are having this mental energy. that we need to keep remembering things to not forget things. So, one of the things that I do that helps me have less mental load is that I have this list of tasks that I keep on a note on my phone or also on my calendar. For example, if I need to address a certain situation, I will put a time slot on my calendar on the day so that I know that by then I will address it during that time. So now there is one less thing that I need to keep in my own mind, but I'm actually delegating it to my phone so that it will remember me. It will remind me of it. Another thing is that even if there are many things that I need to keep on top, for example, what I need to do, cleaning the house, etc., I prioritize my own peace and rest and nourishment so that I don't overextend myself. What I mean is, for example, if I thought about cleaning in a day, but then I actually have a lot on my plate, and then at the end of the day, I am a little bit tired. I would prioritize my rest and nourishment instead, and really not worry about my house mess because things don't need to be perfect. And if I am really stressed about everything needs to be in order, I might want to ask myself, like, why is it that I need everything to be spotless? And is it really important for me to do so? What would I feel if I leave things be, at least for now, and actually recharge myself? And there are things that we can always make it more efficient in our daily lives. So, for example, whatever I can delegate, I would delegate or outsource. Well, the easiest example would be the dishwasher. So I can just put my dishes inside the dishwasher and save time instead of washing it manually. And for example, when it comes to house cleaning, many people they do it by themselves, cleaning the entire house. And for a while I've been doing that until I realized that okay, why don't I actually have someone to clean my house, like even if it's every 2 weeks, do a major cleaning so that I don't need to like spend energy and feeling exhausted after doing it. I can actually have some help in that regard. And for example, if it is always set like each week or each 2 weeks at the same time, at the same weekday, someone will come, then I don't need to worry so much. I don't need to have another tab open in my mind that, oh, I should clean the house, I should clean the floor because it is already automatized. And then there are all these tasks, to do list that we have. And when we look at it, if there is a lot of items, then we might feel overwhelmed. But for example, one thing that I like to do is what is it that I can just finish, for example, in 10 minutes, 30 minutes, like small things that I can just finish. Then this I will do it, but of course, if there are something that is more urgent, then I would also do it. But if there aren't any exactly urgent things, then I would target the small things that I can just do. Then I don't need to worry. For example, I often receive messaging emails, for example, from LinkedIn or from my Instagram. And even, from messages from friends and all. Like if it is something that I can respond to quickly, then I would actually do it because I know that if I postpone it, I will have another tab in my mind trying to remind myself to do so. But if I want to give a response later because I need to think about it, I need to see how I feel about it, then I would actually put a slot in my calendar so that by that day and that time, I would actually focus on creating the response and then responding to the message, email. So there are lots of things that we can simplify, that we can let go of, that we can delegate, outsource. The core idea here is also to think, what is it that really needs me to take care of? What is it that actually would be important for me to intervene? And what is it that I can automatize or let go of? Or even ask for support for other people to help? And really stop for a moment and reflect for it, so that you can understand what is it that you don't really need to worry about, and then let go and erase that from your to-do list. And even if things are not perfect, but if you can prioritize your peace and nourishment, like for example, okay, your house might not be spotless, there are things that are a little bit out of place. And for example, if you have kids, then like the toys are like often spread around the house, and you have a lot of things that are never ending, like clothes to clean, groceries to take care of, things to cook, school stuffs to organize, homeworks. And I remember when my child was born years ago, I had this huge mental load from the resources that we needed and the groceries that needed to be done, what my child needed, how to handle the routine, and all the worries, all the things. And then the house chores. The moment I started to drop the perfection, like for example, okay, there are lots of toys around, but those are the signs of a happy kid. And my kid needs me more than he needs the toys being put away. Then everything at the end of the day, it's okay. He doesn't need a perfect mom. He needs a present mom. And a mom that is actually human, that prioritizes her nourishment also before prioritizing a spotless house. And with that, I can show him that, we don't need to perform this perfection, that it's okay to be human, it's okay to be tired. And when we are tired, we better prioritize our health, our happiness, our nourishment, our energy, our peace. So this week, I'd love to invite you to start reflecting on things that you can actually let go. Like, what are the 3 things that you can let go or make it more efficient or even automatize in your daily life that can really help you ease a little bit more of your mental load? So maybe grab a latte, maybe grab a coffee, or maybe you can even take a bubble bath while you can really reflect on what is it that you can let go or delegate or outsource.